Hi, and Happy New Year. Welcome to B-TownTalk. I'm your host, Dawn Davis, and my co-anchor today is Mayor Joseph DiGirolamo. Happy New Year, Mayor.
Same to you, Dawn, and hopefully 2014 is going to be a great year.
It's going to be a great year. Today is Tuesday, the 7th of January, as we do this taping, and this is sort of an impromptu, sort of what's going on, what has happened in the last few weeks, and we just wanted to bring you up to date on a few things. Now, last night, I understand, was what we call here at the municipal building our reorganization meeting. And Mayor, perhaps you can tell our viewers just exactly what does that mean and what does it entail?
Well, every year, reorganization, we pick a new president of council, and congratulations, Joe Polari is our new president this year, and a new vice president, and certainly a secretary, and the vice president is Tony Belfield, and Ed Kisselback is Joe Knowles is the secretary. So, and congratulations to those three, and certainly the board members are also Ed Kisselback and Brian Allen. And we reorganized that on that first Monday after the new year, every year. And we name all of our boards. I put up names for council to endorse, the people that I put up there to fill out boards. There's, I think there's like 18 we went through, or maybe more, last evening. And that was all accomplished. And they're volunteers.
Yeah, can we explain to our viewers exactly what are the responsibilities of these boards?
Well, there's several boards, and they all they're all volunteers. Some are very tough, strong boards that actually make decisions. The zoning hearing board, certainly last night we appointed one, that was George Seymour, was appointed for a 5-year term. The drug and alcohol committee, there's like 14 people on that board. That board does all volunteer work.
Well, that's certainly a complete opposite
totally
of the zoning hearing board function.
And the zoning hearing board is one of the only boards that really makes decisions. The rest of them are advisory boards.
So their purpose is to see things, come and advise,
and bring back to the mayor,
administration, and you can make decisions.
And work with council to make sure that all of those different boards are functioning and hopefully helping people. That's what they're all about out there.
Absolutely.
The planning board is another board. It's it has a little more teeth than most boards. The impact fee board does too. They make decisions, but they're not final decisions. The zoning hearing board is like council. What they do is final. And so the rest
it gives people
and they're all volunteers.
A better understanding.
And we're so grateful for everybody that volunteers their time year in and year out.
And a lot of these, not the zoning hearing board and the planning commission, the ones that have a little more teeth, as you described, but your shade tree commission and the drug and alcohol board, and they all come with small
Veterans
budgets.
Advisory Board, gaming board. There's just, we go on and on. Shade tree. There's just so many different boards. And they're people that volunteer their time to make Bensalem a better place.
Sure, and like as I was saying, they come with small budgets because they come up with an idea, and sometimes these ideas need some funding, and especially when it comes to the drug and alcohol, as it relates to the DARE program and the inner workings of that with our elementary schools and things of that nature. So congratulations to our council and, of course, all the board members, as the mayor has described. And wow, the weather the past few days has certainly been a topic of national media, and we certainly don't escape that here. I'd like to say our Public Works has done a phenomenal job.
God. Let's give them all the credit in the world. They're
working
around
35 and 40 hours continually, and it's, it was a pretty intense storm that we had. The snow was very heavy.
And the ice. Ice is, the roads have been so bad every day, thawed out a little. Right now we're in a deep freeze. As we're speaking, today is Tuesday the 7th. As we're speaking, it's approximately a little after 11 o'clock. The temperature in Bensalem is 5 degrees.
It's a bone chiller out there.
And it's going to continue for the next couple of days. And you won't get this show live, but at least we're telling you what's going on at this time. And
In
pipes
a couple hours from now, though,
yeah,
it'll
pipes
go
will be
out there.
pipes are breaking. We're hearing all kind of problems. We had a tree come down last night, leaned on a house down off of the section of Station Avenue down there. At
Andalusia?
New York and Station. Well, that's not quite Andalusia yet.
Well,
That's Echo
sort
Beach
of.
area.
Right.
Echo Beach area. So I already know about that one. And there's been some electric go out on certain homes. And can you imagine losing your electric in a case of heat and everything? So we're in a tough situation. We haven't had temperatures like this for many years.
Decades.
Yeah. And so we're dealing with it, and hopefully everybody else is out there dealing with it. I know I was a little bit crazy about a puppy I have, and had gone outside by itself. I worry about the puppy.
The stories he comes and tells us. What do you do? It's cold.
Well,
Their-
the
their
puppy's feet.
We just look at him with a big question mark over our head.
Well,
seriously?
Being a farm boy in the old days, our dogs were always outside, and they lived
I know,
out.
we certainly have gotten soft,
Yeah.
haven't we?
Doghouse. Remember the old doghouse?
Of course. The dog lived in the doghouse.
Well, our dog has the house that we live in.
And so does mine, believe me.
And most
She's
people.
a princess.
That's what I say, and most people. But anyway, I hope the pets, people watch out for them
Are
also.
adhering
And go
to their
outside,
care.
my goodness. I hope that people put layers and layers. And I worried this morning about the kids going to the bus stops and just standing in a bus stop, because I'm telling you, it's frigid. It was down to like 1 degree in Bensalem today.
Well, hopefully most parents, they understand
Yeah.
the nature of all of this, and they dress their children appropriately.
And I just want to touch again on our public works. These men and women do an incredible job. I'm telling you, and once in a while, I know we get some complaints, snow didn't get moved correctly in this place or that place, but sometimes if a mistake is made, people get in touch with us, we try to fix them, but our men and women are trained to do what they do, and they try to do the best job they can.
And no matter how many times we can say it,
Yeah.
the hierarchy of how the roads are completed, the
Right, the
thought
main road,
process and
yeah.
how it works.
And mention certainly Jim Ryan down there, who's our director, and Walt Lesnovic, who's now has a job. He's a kind of like the foreman of all of
Yes.
these things. So they're working 24 hours when they have to. So great job, guys. Gals, keep up the great work. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you. Now, I guess hand in glove with that, the salt and the brining and the plowing, we just had spent a lot of money on repaving many miles of township-owned roads in Bensalem. Unfortunately, when we do have weather of this nature and our public works is out there doing their job and using the materials that they utilize for this, it wreaks havoc on the roads.
No question.
And, it's just a vicious cycle.
No
So in
question about it.
springtime, then we'll be dealing with potholes.
Well, they're
And-
dealing with some already.
Yes.
But the fact of the matter is, we
Safety
have to
first.
dance to the tune, and that's what we're trying to
Absolutely.
do here.
Absolutely. Well, like I said, this is an impromptu show, and we did receive some sad news yesterday, and actually we did, but you learned of it earlier, and that is a former employee, former director of public safety, and who had had an illustrious career prior to coming to Bensalem Township, Mr. Frank Friel, has passed. And I only had the honor of working with Mr. Friel for a couple of years when I was first hired here at Bensalem Township. But Mayor, I know that you knew Frank very well, and perhaps you'd like to say a few words about Frank.
Bensalem mourns his passing. Frank, I was on a Blue Ribbon panel long before I was mayor to select a director of public safety, and Frank was the gentleman that we selected. Besides being the director here, we were very, very good friends, close friends. As Dawn said, an illustrious career that he had. Actually wrote a book, Putting the Mob Away, and
Breaking the Mob.
Breaking the Mob. And he belonged to so many organizations. and I'm trying to think of the one, Doc. It's a French organization. They
Let me
actually
check
had,
my notes
they
while
had,
you're on camera.
They had meetings here at down at Penn Ren, actually. They meet all over the world, but they met here, and they solved a problem, a murder. They all worked together, all these illustrious detectives and police, and they used to solve one a year. And he was one of the people picked on that committee. So that's just one of many, many, many. He was an incredible gentleman, and to his wife Kathy, my personal sorrows, and he'll be greatly missed. And he was a great man.
Yeah, he was a man of class and style. It's one thing
Yeah.
I can remember about him. He always had a smile on his face. He was somewhat of a quiet man, but when you did get him to open up and laugh, he was really a great guy. Great homicide detective, worked his way through the ranks, and as we said, had an illustrious career. And we just
Well, if
wish him a
there's
safe
a
trip.
crime in heaven, Frank's going to fix it.
He's going to solve it.
He's going to solve it.
But there are not.
No, I know. I'm just trying to add just a little bit of something.
I
to his
understand.
loss.
The other thing, I wanted to ask you a few questions. I'm driving around. You know, I love to drive in the snow. Everybody thinks I'm crazy, but I love it. Some of the abandoned buildings that I see throughout Bensalem, certainly through no fault of Bensalem Township, but you know, people will ask questions, and I don't think a lot of people understand how. I think the general population somehow think that we control these abandoned buildings. It's private sector business. We have absolutely no control over that particular situation. But let me list a few, and maybe you know
Before
of
you
any
list them, can I
plans.
comment on
Yes,
that?
certainly.
Please
do.
We have a program here in Bensalem on these types of buildings you're talking about, homes that get
Vacant
abandoned and vacant. And we have a program where we can go in, and you may see that home looking like it does for a long period of time. It's because we have to go through the system.
Mm-hmm.
We have to go through the courts. We have to go through and make sure that everything legally is okay. Once we have that, we either board them or we knock them down on that type of place. And I know you're going to ask me some questions. I don't know what the particulars, but to just, and if you see an abandoned building that you think's in your neighborhood, let us know right away. But give us time to go through the process to get that fixed, that problem, because it's not an easy task.
No.
The courts are long, the judges take a long time to make decisions, and not saying anything to any of my good judge friends out there, but it's just the system.
Well, it's just the process, and I think what it is people just don't understand how long, and that we can't just march
Well,
in
I'm as frustrated
somewhere
as they
and-
are.
Absolutely. The
why can't
neighbors
we
that
get-
live next to them and the people of the neighborhood
Yep.
and so forth and so on,
Yeah.
it can just get very frustrating for both parties. But I think what we're both saying is that there is a legal process by which these things, and we've taken it a little bit of a step further by trying to keep our eyes on these properties and having crews that go out and
Well, last
board
year-
up. We don't like to see places boarded up, but there's really not a lot
Last
of
year, we
alternative.
actually started the program of going in and cleaning them. Right away, if grass isn't being, we started that last year. We have people that just do that now and take care of that.
Well, that's a big step.
You know,
I really
some of the
think it
things
is.
I hope people remember that we started here, the graffiti program and litter behind that. We've been ahead of the curve for many years, and now this is something backing that up. The litter and the graffiti, this is kind of following in that
Sure, it's in
footsteps.
tandem with these
Exactly.
programs that have been in existence. This is
Exactly.
20 years.
Yeah.
Going into the
Can
20th
you
year.
believe it?
It's hard to believe. Congratulations, by the way.
Well,
I don't know if
thank
I
you.
said that because we
Well,
haven't done a show in a while. I
you
can't
know-
remember. The brain does
You know,
some
last
firing
night
up.
I took a moment after I was sworn in and sworn out, I guess, in some instances. But I took a moment just to tell everybody what an honor and privilege it is for me to serve this community. I bleed Bensalem. This is where I've been. This is where I'll end my days. And what an honor to be in this community and be one of the leaders. And it's just a great, great community. We're second to none. I'm serious. That's in my heart of hearts.
Absolutely.
So
Especially in
thank you,
services.
everybody, for giving me that opportunity.
I think our services are second to none. Surrounding
We try.
municipalities emulate what we do here,
We
and that's
try.
a testament to your leadership. But anyway, a few buildings. Maybe you have some insight. I don't know. How about the Armstrong School on Street
Well,
Road?
Armstrong School is owned by
Well,
the school
school
district.
district.
Obviously, we have no control over that whatsoever. There is no immediate plans that I know of. I do know that they want to sell it, and the board will make some decision. I think it'll be soon. We must remember, when they make that decision, they just don't put a sale sign.
Mhm.
It has to be bid out. And that process, again,
Yes.
you know, it's government. And by the time you get through that process and everything, it'll take time. But I think the school district, what I'm hearing, what they're telling me, is they're at that
They're
stage.
at that stage where they do
wanna-
want to
yeah.
unload it.
Yeah,
move
but there's
further.
no plans, no immediate plans.
Hooters over in the western end of the town.
Hooters out Nottingham section, in front of Nottingham. Hooters was something that closed down and moved. It's a great site. It's right on Street Road. Nobody has come to the plate and said anything. I heard rumors that Wawa was looking at it. Don't go running to your phones and saying Wawa this or that. I said there was a rumor that they were looking at that site, but no immediate plans. And it's a shame because we don't like to see closed businesses like that.
Absolutely. I think that's the point and what
Yeah.
we're trying to
And we
convey
lose
here. We don't
revenue
wanna-
by that. The township
Sure, there's
loses
no
a lot.
tax revenue.
Yeah.
Hooters, I mean, I never really thought it had good access, but I mean, that's just, I lived that way for a long time. I just, you have to get off, you don't know, and then you have to whip around and
Yeah.
come through the back end off Old Street Road. But anyway, I'm sure changes could be made. The Ruby Tuesdays up at Neshaminy Mall, I thought they were doing great. Who
Well,
knows?
Ruby Tuesdays changed a couple times. It went into a seafood restaurant. Same company, by the way, that owned. Didn't work out. They came in and they wanted to put a 3A's. 3A's.
A mechanic?
Assurance, the
yeah.
AAA it's called. They have this new prototype buildings now where they put up, and not only they sell their insurance in the front, it's a nice looking building, and then they fix cars. Something like a Pep Boys in the back,
Right.
and they do that. That fell through, which I was kind of delighted. I was fighting the
Yeah,
garage.
I don't think that would, I mean, my
the
personal
garage end
opinion
of
is that
it.
doesn't fit there.
But they had to buy rights to do it if they would. But thankfully, that has gone by the wayside. I'm hearing another restaurant coming back. Don't know what it is, but that's what I hear. It's going to be a restaurant again. I don't know, I wish we could get a great seafood restaurant here, or a great steak place.
Well,
of course
the
we have-
chains in this area seem to do well. If you
Oh,
think of it,
yeah.
they just
Oh,
do.
goodness
If you
gracious.
go up in that area on Rock Hill Drive, or
Yeah.
Carrabba's Outback,
Yeah, they're all doing it.
Fridays,
They're all doing it.
you have an hour and a half wait. To call
Yeah.
ahead's even a little rough. So
Yeah.
they do well.
And we have great restaurants, Toscana's, La Cena, so independent restaurants.
Mhm.
And if you're hungry, you don't have to go far to eat in Bensalem.
You really don't. And then the other one I could think of, which is in my old neck of the woods, is the Autostrada.
Autostrada closed their business down, but I understand it's going to open up as a car place as it was.
Oh,
That's
really?
what we're hearing, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, they're just a few that I have. And jumping over to a lighter subject, this is sort of the slow time of year. And I don't really, I use that a little cautiously because I'm very busy as I plan the 2014 We Love Wednesdays at the TDBA. Our season commences in June, but it takes months and months and months to work with agents and find the right fit. As you well know, we're a tribute venue here, and I try to find those musical groups that people of the past 40 years like to relive, so people like myself. And I think we've come up with a great lineup. I only have a couple spots left, and I believe that they'll probably be filled within the next week or so. But we do open up with Kenny Vance and the Planetones on June 4th as our season commences. And of course, it's a little bit early to go into
It's
everything.
not that far off.
But it'll
Not
be
that
here
far off.
before you know it. And
Hopefully.
that's a done deal, Kenny Vance and the Planetones. Although I can tell you on a personal note, Kenny Vance had to have, he had carotid artery surgery just a few weeks back. And he's recuperating in, I believe it in Florida, this deep freeze is very cold for them down south. He's recuperating, and by all reports, he should be just fine to lead the performance on June 4th. And it's always such a popular show, and it's a huge attraction here for the TD Bank Amphitheater. Now, for something that's happening a little sooner, tomorrow evening, the boss will be speaking at Holy Family College for the Bensalem Business Association. He is the guest speaker for the organization. As I said, it's at Holy Family, 6:30 p.m. I don't believe, well, maybe you know better than I do, is it only for members that can go to this meeting? Or if you're
truly
interested,
don't have the answer to that. I'm sure that they'll let people in if they want to have more members. I mean,
I
it's
would think that they
business
would.
oriented, totally business.
Well, I'll tell you what you can do. If you're a business and you might be interested, this is sort of like a chamber of commerce. People are used to hearing that terminology. This association is very similar to that. And if you're interested in getting some more information, you can contact the BBA at 215-245-0802. But the boss happens to be the guest speaker tomorrow night. And I attended last year, and I thought it was very interesting. And or maybe you want to visit their website, www.bensalembusiness.com, and that will give you all the information you need.
Sounds good.
Sounds good?
Yeah, maybe I'll just bring this down and if we can show this to them instead of speaking to them. Show them the
No,
show.
your story is a lot more interesting than this, but just a couple other things, and then we'll say goodbye. Parks and Recreation, they have their winter program going on right now. There are a variety of programs, just a few, but if you would like more information, please contact them at 215-633-3724. You can ask for Sabrina Stansel or Lori Welsh. They can help you in determining your eligibility or whatever you might like to do here. There's a lot of cool things. They have spring field hockey, Young Rembrandts, Let's Dance, arts and crafts program, and let's face it, kids get bored. They need activities. I know you're of the school of thought, we'll get out there and work. I'm of that school of thought too, but you have the youngsters that are under 14 that they just can't work yet, okay? Legally. And then, you know what? I got an email from Sister Pat, who is with St. Catherine Drexel. She's a hoot. I love her. She's a nun. What is the Sisters of the Blessed Sacrament? Sisters of the Blessed Sacrament. You think I would know that at going to Catholic school, but I had St. Joe nuns, and they were mean. But anyway, oh my goodness gracious.
Is that why you became so mean?
Oh my Lord, Sister Evarista.
Is that why you're so mean?
I'm not mean. I'm very kind.
Well, if you were taught, I was just
But
wondering.
she was just mean. Just taught you to be tough. But anyway, she had asked that when they have closings, she's so funny and so sweet, if we could put, when they can't be open due to inclement weather or whatever the situation might be, could we, meaning Bensalem Community Television, put their announcement on our scroll and our sign? And I had to say yes.
Of course.
I mean, they just need our help. And you know, another thing about, that's a great tourist attraction here in Bensalem that I think a lot of people don't realize how important and how historic and how magnificent the grounds are down there off of Bristol Pike. It's in between 95 Bristol Pike, a sprawling piece of
Right
property.
across from St. Charles Church. It's an incredible. You know, I knew St. Catherine. I knew her when she was a nun. I went to school across the street. She died in 1955 when I graduated high school. And we knew at the time, whoever thought saint or anything, but you always knew she was a very, very special person. Gave up everything. Millions and millions and millions of dollars to help the poor.
It certainly takes a special
and
individual.
I go down there as much as possible. I stay involved as much as I can. Just a special place.
How about they grow grapes there?
Yeah,
Or wine?
They
I
have.
think that's awesome.
They have their own. They used to be years ago. They had everything, all farm animals.
Vegetables,
Oh, cows, everything. I
Well,
used
hey,
to.
let's face it, we used to be a farming community.
Yeah, and they used to be able to support themselves and everything. And today it's very difficult for them. It's very difficult. They have a gift store there. If anybody gets a chance, you all should visit it. No matter religion or anything.
I mean, just the architecture alone
Oh,
is
just get out and visit
magnificent.
it. And she's actually buried there in the crypt in back of the chapel. But it's a beautiful, beautiful place.
It truly is. I mean, in addition to, sure, it's wintertime. There's, you know, the TD Bank Amphitheater is somewhat of the jewel of Bensalem Township. But we do have other places, of course, you know, not so much in the wintertime, but our park is beautiful to take a walk. We have beautiful parks throughout Bensalem, Firefighters Field, the community park, all the individual parks within the neighborhoods. And, you know, just take advantage. It's a new year. It could be a new you. Start walking, start moving. I'm a firm believer in that. And there's also the Visitor Center, which is a place that I think, you know, they do a heck of a business. People wonder what they do over there. And there's travel and vacation coordinators. You'd be surprised how many people visit the center, call the center, and how the coordinators help them plan a trip here to Bensalem, Bucks County, you know, New Hope and Washington's Crossing and all those places in Bucks County.
Let me make a comment. I am on that board there at the Visitor Center. Many years ago, and we had another loss, Mike Ezrod, who actually was the moving force to have that built here in Bensalem, that building, and I'm going to start a movement hopefully and get it accomplished to name that building after Michael, who put so much into it. And another great guy that passed away this year, past year, 13.
I know, it's, we're losing all the good guys.
Yeah.
Well, let me back up for St. Catherine. If you're interested in taking a tour or would just like to talk to someone down at the shrine, you can call Sister Pat. She's a lovely woman and she's a hoot on top of it. 215-244-9900, extension 402. That's Sister Pat Downs, D-O-W-N-S. And with that, Mayor, I think we'll end it here. Thank you for co-anchoring with me. I appreciate it. We're on to 2014. It's hard to believe the years are flying by, but I'm Dawn Davis for B-TownTalk. We'll talk to you later. Mayor, thanks again.
Good to be with everybody. God bless.
Okay.